What is going on, everyone? Hello, and welcome back here into another edition of NY Flight Jets Talk. Can't thank you enough for making us a part of your Saturday evening here on May 24th, 2025. Make sure you smash that like button and hit subscribe on your way into the building. It's completely free, and it helps us grow significantly here on the channel. Throw your questions, comments, thoughts in the chat. We'll get to those. You can call into the show with the pin comments, super chats, memberships, then your raffle entries, and they're a great way to help us grow here on this program. Chris, the absolute disaster Grasso. What is going on, my friend?
I'm doing great, my friend. Great to be on here with you and talk some Jets.
Didn't break 100 today? What are we doing?
Did not break 100. Had some great shots, and yeah, we're chilling though. We're chilling. We're breaking 100 sometime this summer for sure.
How's that short game?
The short game is a mess. Like I was driving the ball great. I hit, but my irons were pure, but the chipping and putting were a mess. So gotta work on that for sure. Get to grinding.
It was the opposite when I played with you 2-3 weeks ago. Now it was. Remember that?
That's yeah. Jack is a master of time.
Were fucking abysmal, and then getting within 200 yards, I was cooking. That's the thing. Like, I'm too inconsistent when I play. That like I'll either play around where my tee shot's great, my short game's crap, or vice versa. I personally would rather have a great short game than a great tee shot, because if you have a great short game, you can win no matter where your tee shot is.
For sure, but having a tee shot is always the flashy. They say drive for show, puff for dough. It's always fun. It's always fun having a beautiful drive. I mean, I was driving the ball beautifully today, nice and far and straight. I had like a 270-yard drive off the car pass. So
all right,
yeah, we love golf and just gotta work on the short game and get some consistency for love of God.
Let's get out of the triple digits. What do you say?
Please. That's what I said.
Someone who is not in the triple digits for his number or age or anything of that matter is Quinnen Williams, and he spoke to reporters at Jets OTAs a couple days ago, and he made a bold claim towards head coach Aaron Glenn that I think should get fans really excited. Chris, I know you're already excited for Aaron Glenn, and Quinnen Williams was someone who you could tell was a little skeptical at first, but he's fully bought in. We all remember the day the Jets announced they were moving in a different direction and they were going to part ways with Aaron Rodgers. Quinnen Williams put out a tweet that kind of grabbed the eye of some Jet fans, which was another rebuild, and he seemed to be really, really frustrated by the Jets' decision to move on from Aaron Rodgers. But since then, he believes that the Jets are in the right position to win, and he kind of amplified that with what he said to reporters during this.
Oh, you're muted now.
You got me now.
There we go. Yeah, you're back.
There we go. So this is what Quinnen Williams had to say of his tweet on the Jets' second day of OTAs. Quote, "It was an immature thing for me to do at the moment, out of emotions, out of frustration. I hadn't talked to Aaron previous to that, just looking at it as trying to grow as a leader. Talking to Glenn, talking to the staff, and everybody else just got me super, super, super excited and super, super confident that we're going in the right direction to win football games and to do the things that I want to do to change the whole narrative of the New York Jets losing streak and playoff streak." That's what you want to hear, Chris.
I think this absolutely speaks volumes about the Aaron Glenn as a coach and the growth of Quinnen Williams as a player. I mean, this is everything we want to hear from Aaron Glenn, a guy who we thought we wanted to come in here, set the culture, be a leader of men, be a disciplinarian for this locker room, and really get us on the right track to going forward. And hearing Quinnen Williams say this absolutely means the world and should give us all confidence about Aaron Glenn as a coach.
Absolutely. Are you buying what Quinnen Williams is saying here of AG?
Why wouldn't I? I already believed in AG, as you had mentioned, because of the way they gone about free agency and done everything right in my eyes, the way he put reporters in his place. I know none of this matters unless we actually win football games, but this is what we want to hear. And I believe what Quinnen Williams is saying. I think Quinnen Williams is going to be a leader on this team, which is why Aaron Glenn made it a point to go and talk to him and straighten him out. Be like, hey, this isn't how we act, and he put him in his place, and this is what we need Aaron Glenn to do. So it's already great that we're seeing him do it and make a difference basically on not day one but the beginning of this regime.
Definitely. Staying with the topic of the Jets defensive tackle room, we heard today from Zach Rosenblatt on the Flight Plan podcast. He does a great job with Tim McMaster. Zach does a great job covering the Jets for The Athletic. He said, based on what he saw throughout the Jets OTAs, Byron Cowart has emerged kind of as that number 2 bigger. He's not even a one tech guy. He's more of a three tech guy. He plays a similar role of a Quinnen Williams, but according to Zach Rosenblatt, he did a great job at Jets OTAs, and right now he would be slotted in as that number 2 defensive tackle to start alongside Quinnen Williams. This is a guy who was a 6th round pick a few years ago. The definition of a journeyman, has been with the Patriots, he was with the Bears last year, and now coming to the Jets. Look, am I the biggest Byron Coart fan? Do I know everything about him? Absolutely not. But if he's going to come in, he's going to work hard, and he's going to earn a role in the preseason, he deserves to be a starter on this team because that job is wide open.
100%. This was the deal with Aaron Glenn and regarding the defensive tackle room when they didn't draft any D linemen. We had to buy into the idea that there was someone on this roster that was going to have to emerge, and Aaron Glenn saw that and was like, "Okay, we have other needs besides D tackle in the draft." While I did not agree with the decision at the time, people like this guy rising up and being able to become difference makers in this defense, and Aaron Glenn coaches them into that spot, finding a role for them on the defense is what it's all about. So I'm really excited to see what our defensive tackle room looks like this season.
Any other big takeaways you want to get into from Jets OTAs? Center competition, you see that, Chris?
I did not see that. Tell me all about it.
We're hearing that Josh Myers and Joe Tippmann are battling it out for the starting center job, which I'm not buying.
that would be extremely surprising if that was legit, because Joe Tippmann is a guy who's young and ascending, and we don't want Josh Myers to take his spot at all because Tippmann is a homegrown player. We want him to get his flowers, but Myers is good depth, and I heard from somewhere out of Green Bay that he's a pretty good locker room guy, and he really, even as a backup center, he could still be a good locker room guy. And if we need him to come in at guard, so he can kind of be a solid backup and some depth option at offensive line, but I don't know that he's gonna be competing for meaningful reps.
Josh Myers has starter experience. He's been a starter the past 4 years. He hasn't been a great starter. The Jets paid him backup money. I think you start the guy who was a 2nd-round pick just a few years ago, and in my opinion was a top 10 center in all of football last year. Give me Joe Tippmann for this job. I think this is Aaron Glenn just trying to do what he loves to do and stir up competition and try to show that no one's spot on the depth chart is safe.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer to start Joe Tippmann.
Absolutely. Appreciate you tuning in. Smash that like button. Hit subscribe. Again, out of my normal setup, so sorry if the production quality isn't that high. Don't see too much of the chat, but we'll get into the chat in a little, so when I open it back up. So smash that like, hit subscribe. Keep your questions coming for Chris and I call into the show with the pinned comments, super chats, memberships, get your raffle entries, help us grow significantly. You guys have been so generous with a lot of the fan funding this month, so please keep it coming if you can. It's a great way to help us support the show, and super chats will come up here on the screen immediately. Kind of covered all we got to do for the Jets. Again, guys, this is May football here. I've emphasized this so much. There aren't the most Jet topics to go over, but whenever they come in, we got to discuss them. So we discussed the main talking points for today. I'm sure we'll get into some more later. But in other news and in other New York sports news.
No, I know exactly where you're going with this, bro.
We didn't hear too much of this last night. You're a playoff Knicks fan, Chris. Let's go there first. I'm a Nets fan. Mm-hmm. I said Pacers in 5 when this series kicked off. I had a feeling the Pacers were going to win game 1, which they did. I thought the Knicks were going to win last night. They didn't. Same key takeaways for me and for all those Knicks fans watching out there. It was a 5-point win for the Indiana Pacers. So it wasn't a blowout. It was a narrow win like game 1. Same big takeaways for me. I thought Indiana outcoached the Knicks. They did a great job of holding Tyrese Halliburton and not allowing him to thrive, but Pascal Siakam took the majority of the load.
Yes, crazy.
And he ultimately helped propel them to victory. Miles Turner, another great game. It's crazy to me. OG Anunoby, someone who's that strong and that fast, able to cut down on those baseline plays. It's crazy to me that he gets blocked so much. I mean, Mitchell Robinson, we saw that foul. He missed a dunk. Jalen Brunson, I mean, the shot selection was bad all night, but it was really amplified with 8 seconds left in the game when he pulled from over 30 feet away. This Knicks team, I don't think is winning the series at all. Going into Indiana, I know people are going to say the Knicks are great on the road. Well, tough news for you. The Indiana Pacers are the best home team in the National Basketball Association. If they don't win tomorrow, the series is officially done. I don't see a world where the Knicks win. It could still happen. I just don't see it. I think Indiana's a better team.
Yeah, the Pacers have been on fire as of late, 100%. So it's really rough. They have all the momentum, especially stealing both games at home. And you mentioned how it was close, only a 5-point win. The Knicks don't get blown out a lot. It's usually close and exciting when they win. It's an exciting game, and they usually don't blow people out, which is why it was so surprising to see them have that dominant win over the Celtics. But the Knicks really just need to slow everything down. They just need to play their game, and if the Knicks get in rhythm, they are tough to beat. If Brunson gets in rhythm, but we need to get the Pacers out of rhythm and stop letting the Pacers play their own game. So yeah, I mean, really, it's rough. The Knicks are a solid road team. That they're 5-1 on the road for these playoffs, and then they're like 3-4, or I guess now 3-5 at home. So we really need to start picking up the pace, if you will, so we can have a chance at winning this series.
Come on, Chris. The Knicks aren't winning the series. You and I can both agree on that.
That's what people said about the Celtics series.
Oh
People
my
said, "Oh, the Knicks had no chance." Everyone was putting.
The homer takes.
Yes, I am a Homer Knick fan. I am not that invested as of now. Next year, I can start getting more basketball knowledge, more NBA knowledge.
That's not what homer means.
Homer means like you're basically a truther for your team.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even need a base level of knowledge to be a homer.
Exactly. I can admit I'm a Knick truther, 100%.
So, prediction for this series?
Prediction for this series?
No bias.
No bias.
Yeah.
Well, Pacers still getting the first two games is rough. So right now I'd probably say Pacers in 6, or if I'm gonna be my Knick truther, Knicks in 7, baby.
Okay, so Pacers in 6.
Pacers in 6, but the Knicks surprise people. So they become the cardiac Knicks. All the games are exciting. So listen, we'll definitely be tuning in.
I'm sticking to my prediction of Pacers in 5. Another thing to note about the Knicks is their defense is really, really bad. Karl-Anthony Towns is a human turnstile on defense, and Jalen Brunson isn't a good defender. Call it how it is.
Hart plays solid defense, and Anunoby plays pretty solid defense as well. Yeah, I know. Like, the thing is, I just, you know this, bro. I just watch the games. It's hard for me to talk in depth about the Knicks as of now. But so yeah, from the looks of it, Hart plays good defense and Anunoby plays good defense. But when you're letting Siakam put however many on you, obviously it's not good defense. Yeah, it's crazy.
Cam Payne playing meaningful minutes.
Oh God, that guy's shooting form is so bad.
Did you see that shot that like went off the side of the backboard?
Yes.
That was almost as bad as TJ McConnell's in game 1. TJ McConnell actually had a nice night last night. He's the small, speedy white dude.
I hate TJ McConnell so much. He's so annoying. He's always
like
there.
Josh Hart, but better.
Oh my God! Here goes the bias against the Knicks. No, he's not.
True. He's like Josh Hart, but better.
He's like Josh Hart, but a better shooter, not necessarily better all around. Josh Hart is a horrible shooter, but he's the guy who's gonna make all up, do all the dirty work. He's everywhere like that. You're exactly right. The TJ McConnell is the Josh Hart of the Knicks. So I couldn't tell you who's better. I'm not sure if I'm buying that TJ McConnell is better. Just kind of because it's coming from you and you're a Net fan. You don't like the Knicks, but
I do not. Okay,
McConnell's a better shooter. I'll give you that. McConnell is a better shooter.
People say I do not like the Knicks. You can't name me one thing I've said about the Knicks that is not true.
A bunch of stuff that might be rage bait. For all I know, like I don't know if you're gonna admit that, but all these Knicks players being better than Jalen Brunson and a nobody, all this stuff.
OG Anunoby is OG Anunoby.
No, he's not. He's a good defender and he makes threes and he makes alley-oops too that he dunks it. I don't have an explanation for you for that. I don't.
Slow player. 16 points. Role player numbers. He's not a top 50 player in the NBA.
Having a bad series. I mean, yeah, we gave it all against the Celtics, and now I'm afraid we might not have anything left for the Pacers. So we got to just.
It's the same story last year. You guys ran out of steam.
Last year, everyone was hurt. We can't say anything about last year. I mean, every single star was hurt, but Josh Hart had an abdominal issue. Someone had a broken hand.
The Knicks get swept this series. You want Thibodeau fired?
the Knicks get swept this series? No, because this was never even supposed to be a year where we were contending for a
Oh, are
championship.
you kidding me? Of course it was.
It was supposed. It
You
was
gave up 6 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges.
we were
This is
supposed
the
to.
window. You guys are like the 2023 Jets. This is the window. You have
No,
3
no,
years,
we
3,
were
4
supposed
years.
to have more time to gel, and we were supposed to lose to the Celtics, and we did not. So if we
That's
lose
the
to the
whole thing.
Pacers,
No. That's the whole thing. You guys weren't supposed to have time to gel because it's the Villanova Knicks. It's the getting the band back together, all this prior chemistry.
it's a 2-year window. So this is only year one, and the fact that we beat the Celtics is very promising.
An injured Boston Celtics team. So
What do you mean injured? It was one guy, and he got injured late in the game. It wasn't making a difference. The Knicks are winning that anyway.
Jalen Brunson got hurt. Okay, so if you guys were in the Celtics position, roles were reversed. Jalen Brunson got hurt in that game. You'd be all the Knicks fans would be saying the reason you didn't win that series is because Jalen Brunson got hurt.
Not if it was the exact same position, because the Knicks were already up in the series and up in that game too when Tatum tore his Achilles. So I'm not necessarily sure of that.
You can't win an NBA championship when a player's shooting up 25 shots a game.
And Tatum wasn't even playing good this year. It's like I talked to Celtics fans in my school who said they wanted Tatum to stop shooting and to even get benched. I remember those are out there fans.
Okay, Ben. Yeah, those kids watched the regular season game. I love watching all these NBA fans come out of the woodworks in the postseason.
Because let's be real, who watches regular season NBA, bro?
Everyone. Kidding me?
I watch it on when it's like Friday nights and I'm having a slice of pizza, but like not typically.
I watch a lot of highlights. Like I do a lot. I'm like a box score. I'm like a big Nets fan for like the first 40 games of the season. Then when they start to play like shit, then I become like what I like to call a box score Nets fan, where I log on every other day and I
that makes sense, yeah.
Watch some of the highlights and watch Cam Thomas prove that he's better than Jalen Brunson.
Top tier rage bait.
That is not rage bait. That is a proven fact.
Oh my! I cannot.
You literally admitted you don't watch regular season basketball.
What?
You literally admitted you don't watch regular season basketball.
Okay, so I'll challenge you to debate that topic with our friend Jake Asman. Because I can't put up a good enough debate, but that just sounds ridiculous, man. You can't tell me a guy in the Nets is better than the clutch player of the NBA. Don't tell me I want to have people win my arguments for me when I've already admitted to you I'm not a regular basketball fan. Like, that doesn't make sense. Jalen Brunson won clutch player of the year. You're not telling me that a guy on the Nets is
Cam Thomas played in no clutch games. He had a buzzer beater against the Knicks. Sent him home crying at their own stadium.
I'm not sure we were crying about a loss to the Nets in the regular season.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Appreciate you tuning in. Smash that like button. Hit subscribe. Call into the show with the pinned comments. See all your calls. We'll get to those. Keep throwing your questions in the chat. Let's see. Where are we? Where shall we start things? Where shall we start things up today here in the chat? King Jamie says, does Connor get his ears lowered every week? That's how old guys say get a haircut. Not everyone's just noticing the haircut because I haven't worn a hat in a while. I got this haircut like 2 weeks ago.
Yes,
I got this haircut when you were, right? When were we together 2 weeks ago? Yeah.
I think you probably had. Yeah, you had this when we saw each other at the Met game.
Okay. Yeah. So I've had this.
Either that or just right after that.
Alan says, Connor, could you put a bag over Grasso? Kid is too full of himself.
I don't know what Alan means. Alan hates me. And for some reason, it's not a mutual hate. There's one-sided beef. Alan has beef with me. I only respond to his comments. So listen, Alan, just go to sleep, bud.
Go to sleep, bud. That
old head. Unk.
Go to sleep, Unk?
Go to sleep, Unk.
Okay, that's the interesting quote there. From Chris. Let's see. Where were we here in the chat? Connor, you look like a non-bleached hair Slim Shady. Never compare me to that trash rapper Eminem ever again.
I think that's a crazy thing to say.
Okay, let's be real. Eminem's overrated.
I disagree.
Eminem's not a good rapper. Grasso is just like all obnoxious, self-centered Knicks fans. You will not win because Brunson and Towns couldn't guard a lamppost.
I got 3 words for you. Fuck Trae Young. Go back to sleep.
Trae Young's an interesting player.
Trae Young's a bitch.
You'll never forgive him what he did to the your Knicks.
Hmm.
Let's see. I saw a comment here from Caden who said, I'm trying to find it, said Quinnen Williams getting 15 sacks. Quinnen
Oh yeah.
Williams, in my opinion, provides his most value as a run stuffer. Like,
He does it all. I love Quinnen Williams. And I don't like to mention the guy's name, but Allen wants him traded. It's like I don't get it.
yeah, I would not trade Quinnen Williams personally. I think when he's at his best, he's an all-pro caliber football player. I don't think you give away that talent. I think the biggest thing that's gonna have to happen for him to reach his ceiling and unlock his full potential, he's gonna need someone next.
Oh no! What did you see? What's the cut? Jack, look like a junior version of Rex. Oh my god!
All right, back to what I was saying. Sorry,
I don't even see that, Jimmy. I actually don't even see that
that
comparison.
unhinged comment. Sorry, I don't even know why I have the chat up. I think he needs someone next to him to hit his full ceiling.
Yes, for sure. Because if not, he'll just get triple teamed, and it's hard for anybody to get production like that.
Absolutely. Smash that like, hit subscribe. Chris and Connor here with you. Saturday edition of Next Gen Jets. Keep the questions coming. We'll get to those. Call into the show with the pinned comment at the top of the chat. Let's go over to the phone lines. Nathan starts us off today here on the program. Nathan, what's going on, brother?
What's up?
Hi, I just wanted to talk about some of the Knicks points that you guys are bringing up. So, I mean, obviously it's disappointing how the first two games have went. And I think it's hard to beat teams when you have two major, like you guys have talked about this, but you have two major defensive liabilities in Cat and Brunson. Like every time they'd go and set a screen on Cat and the Knicks would switch and they'd just get right around him or he'd be totally lost and they'd get a wide open shot. The Pacers are just so well rounded that like you can't
They
attack
also have
a
11
specific
players
guy.
in their rotation.
Yeah, like
Yeah, so much depth. It's crazy.
yeah, the Knicks really only have 7 guys, except and then Campaign, who's like the worst player of all time.
But I don't know why if they're gonna give minutes to someone like that, put Landry Shamet in.
Yeah,
I think Landry Shamet is a way better basketball player than Campaign.
I'd even rather have Tyler Kolek in their first round rookie from this year.
PJ Tucker, now I'm playing.
Every time
Can
Campaign
PJ
comes into
Tucker
the
even
game,
run? He's like Udonis Haslam.
he looks like he's 50.
Haslam a few years ago that's who PJ Tucker is on the Knicks.
PJ Tucker is Unk of the Knicks. He is like the godfather of the Knicks besides Thibs.
yeah, Campaign, I feel like he's just so full of himself. He comes into the game, he makes 1 3-pointer, and then he shoots the next 5 and misses all of them because he thinks he's the best player on the court. He's just like, he needs to learn how to play his role. But also, I wanted to talk about, you said that you think that TJ McConnell's better than Josh Hart. I think that's crazy. I think it's the other way around. I think Josh Hart is the
Nathan, you got to realize he's just rage baiting me and trying to take advantage of the fact that I don't know ball when it comes to basketball.
Yeah,
TJ McConnell is a great player, though.
Yeah,
I hate him, bro. He's so annoying, little and white.
You don't like. Okay, so imagine watching Josh Hart. Then think of that.
Oh, okay, but I'm a Knicks fan, bro. Like you gotta. Like it's annoying. I hate it.
Yeah, obviously both of them, when you're playing them, you hate them, and when they're on your team, you love them. But Josh Hart's like the best rebounding guard in the league. I think he's clearly better. It's just they're both great players and really annoying when you're playing against them.
For sure.
No one likes gritty basketball players unless they're on your roster.
Yeah, and then the last thing I just wanted to talk about is I feel like this whole postseason, the Knicks have been better when they're like doubted and counted out. Like against Boston, the first 2 games, they were not supposed to win. They won, and then finally they lost the game, and people are like, "Oh, now Boston's gonna win. They're gonna come back." And that's when the Knicks won. And like this series, now that they're supposed to beat the Pacers, they've come out flat. So I feel like my only hope is now that they're doubted, they're just gonna lock back in. Maybe take that underdog mentality that they had against the Celtics. But at this point, it's a long shot being down 2-0 going into the Pacers territory.
Yeah, that'd be great. And if they can just wake up.
You got anything on the Jets, Nathan? May football talk. I've said it 80 times the past 2 shows. Never much.
No.
I mean, yeah, I feel like we've been over all of it. There's so many things. You just got to wait and see till training camp starts, till the season starts. It's just so much to be decided. So many roster spots available, even starting positions. I'll just mention quickly. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it'd be crazy if Josh Myers starts. Why wouldn't you play your homegrown center who's been good for you over a old, not great rookie. I mean, vet. I don't understand that. I mean, I'm assuming he's just Aaron Glenn's just saying that to get the media and the players to be like, oh, no spots guaranteed. We have to work for it, which I like that idea. I just don't think that the Josh Myers thing is really true.
Yeah, for sure.
Nathan, have a great night, my friend.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, great call as always from our friend Nathan, who kicks us off. Again, please keep your questions coming in the chat. We're gonna continue to get to those, and we'll also take your calls. So load up the calls. Like I said, please keep the questions coming. Super chats pop up immediately. Connor goes weapons grade rage baiting on Chris G all the time. How many of us would it take to hold down Chris G and give him a Connor haircut? I'm guessing he'd be pretty hard to get to the first place. Not the fluff! He's not getting rid of the fluff!
Voice crack. Yeah, I'm not cutting my hair that short ever again. I did it once and it did not go well. So I'll get some bad haircuts from time to time, but never a buzz cut.
What players could the NY Jets add if they decided to try to get add players? That's pretty much what Crispy's saying here. Keenan Allen,
Amari Cooper, Josh Dobbs. Give me a wide receiver too, for the love of God.
Lou B says just spoke to Byron Coart. He said he's taking it one day at a time.
That's just what we like to hear. Amen.
Lou B with a relationship with Byron Coart. Hey, Lou, if Byron ever wants to hop on NY Flight Jets Talk or Next Gen Jets, we can make that happen. Lou and I have had some great conversations on Instagram direct messaging before. Big fan of the show. So if Byron Coart wants to hop on here and chop it up, Lou, hit me up on Instagram. We'll make that happen. I've spoken to Josh Myers' agent. We're trying to work on something. So maybe Chris, you could talk to him about the center competition.
Yes.
Allen, the 2025 Jets will win 6 games by mid-October. Talk of Sellers, Nussmeyer's Club. Nick Aller will be in full effect.
Hey, listen, I like the second part. How about let's just have that be in full effect while we cruise to a 9-8 playoff berth? Like,
Lucis was with Tommy DeVito all day.
whoa, this guy's famous out here.
Oh, yeah. All right, we see you all backstage. We're going to keep it going with your calls. Ricky, New York, joins us next.
Smoke and debate
on the show. You ready to smoke and debate, Ricky?
At least debate. At least debate. So Connor, who was the first person you ever heard mention the idea of the Jets signing Derek Nottie?
You?
Way before it happened. And I think when the time comes, I think we're going to use a rotation next to Quinnen, but I wouldn't be surprised if he steps up and I mean, he's not going to be a superstar, but a solid role player for us at any rate. And you know what? This whole thing with Quinnen, like, that's good that it's getting the fan base fired up, but I've been fired up. Like, I wanted Aaron Glenn for our coach.
I remember you were Aaron Glenn. You were a big Aaron Glenn fan. I remember you calling into my show during the coaching search. You wanted Aaron Glenn since day one.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You wanted more than Vrabel. I remember that too, Ricky.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, and it's not so much a matter of Vrabel being, you know, the enemy, like the expatriate, and Glenn, you know, being the Jet. Yeah. Now, Aaron Glenn being a former Jet probably was the least bit of the reason I wanted him for a coach. Mm-hmm. Now, I will say that the reason I followed Aaron Glenn's career is because he was a Jet, you know, originally. But, you know, I remember, like, back when he was in our scouting department, I thought that was, like, really cool that one of our former players was in the scouting. And so I kind of followed his career and saw everything that led up to this point. And, you know, I think he went about it the right way. I think the fact that, you know, he hit every rung on the ladder on the way up.
Amen.
He knows exactly the kind of people and the mentality that he's looking for at each of those coaching positions because he's done that job himself. Yep. So, you know, and even hearing him now talking about, like, how Dan Campbell put him up in front of the room, and had him address the team, like preparing him for this role. That's not something that happens with every coordinator. Like, so I really think, that we made the right choice with that. And I think it's just a mentality, like, back in, like the late 90s, early 2000s, which Glenn wasn't here that whole time, but like during that era, as a Jets fan, like I went into every single week convinced that we were going to win, like no doubt in my mind. And, our line with Mawai and Fabini and Ferguson and those guys and Curtis Martin running the ball, we just went out and imposed our will on people week after week. We had a great defense. And to me, that's like Jets football, run the ball, play great defense, and I don't know what has happened in the time between then and now, but, I was saying this the other day, like I could picture Robert Saleh at practice, like when somebody drops a ball and him being like, it's okay, babe, we'll get him next time. And like, no, it's not friggin' okay. And I know that Aaron Glenn will hold guys accountable, but dude, I just like everything that I'm hearing. My biggest takeaways so far from OTAs, and it has nothing to do with how guys look running around in shorts, because that shit really doesn't matter. But what impressed me was listening to the press conferences. Garrett saying all the coaches are aligned on the same page. It seems
Awesome,
like that's intentional. Quinnen saying, I honestly feel like we're heading in the right direction. Like you can tell that these guys have bought in. And when you hear every single player saying like, God, all the coaches are on the same page, everything is working in unison. Like we didn't hear that before.
And I completely agree. But when all's said and done, you do have to win football games. That's the bottom line for me.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's no doubt in my mind though, Connor. Like hearing all this,
we know, Chris. We know.
There's no me and Ricky, like Ricky New York. You were on the page of Aaron Glenn over anybody even before. I wanted Mike Vrabel, but now there's no one I'd rather have than Aaron Glenn. The way everything has gone, Aaron Glenn has done everything right. I love it. So I'm super excited for the season, and I'm bought into what Aaron Glenn is saying.
I think the most important coach on this coaching staff under Aaron Glenn is going to be Tanner Engstrand. Because
absolutely.
If you can't build an innovative offensive scheme, you're not only never going to thrive in the NFL, but Justin Fields is never going to be able to hit a stride this season.
Yes.
Right. And the thing with that is I'm excited to see what Engstrom does for an offense. However, I mean, worst case scenario, say Justin Fields doesn't, turn things around or, achieve what we would all like him to. Dude, next year we have maybe an expensive backup with starting experience. And dude, I'll tell you what, listening to Aaron Glenn when he was talking about like where football is headed, like the future of the league and his emphasis on like that dual threat quarterback and everything, man, I'm just looking and I mean, I want to focus on this year, but dude, I'll tell you what, looking at Lenora Sellers, I'm like, God dog it. Does that look like everything Aaron Glenn was describing to me?
What's so great about him? I haven't watched him yet. So what do you see in him?
He's got a cannon for an arm, and is good from the pocket, but also, like I said, dual threat. But I like the way that he always keeps his eyes downfield. Like even when things are starting to break down, he's always looking to pass probably before run. But like one of the first clips I saw of him was it looked like it was going to be a draw play, but it was a quarterback keeper versus LSU. He like jukes two guys and then takes it 75 yards to the house. Boom, gone.
Yeah, I've watched a few with them. Nussmeier didn't impress me all that much. You could see he has a high ceiling. It's just he was too inconsistent for me. Like Klubnik, really liked. Are you familiar with Fernando Mendoza from Cal? Really liked what I saw to him. And then I'm kind of scrolling through the film provider I use, and I watched a little bit of Matt Slucka, who Long Island native, was with Nevada last year for 4 games, and then had the whole transfer thing with the NIL stuff. He is a guy who's a dual threat quarterback who at Holy Cross set the Division I record for most. I think he had like 300 something rushing yards in a game. Great runner. The problem is at UNLV, he had 400 rushing yards in 4 games, but completed under 50% of his passes. Like, you can't have that.
Yeah,
Now he's at JMU. He's going to be a starter. He's someone I think could develop into he could be a fit for the Jets, Ricky. Let's say if Justin Fields wins you 8 games, the Jets want to stick with Justin Fields. Maybe don't want to use their first round pick on a quarterback and wait until day 2 or day 3. We have so much time though, and I hope Justin Fields is able to be the franchise guy and be a maybe not franchise guy, but being able to get in a groove here and make a name for himself over 3, 4, 5 seasons.
I do too. I'm just saying, like, worst case scenario,
Straight up.
Yeah, and initially, I was thinking Drew Aller went back to school. If he can improve and build on what he did, that wouldn't be bad. Kind of like a poor man's Josh Allen. But I was like, wait a minute, why get a poor man's Josh Allen when we can get a rich man's version of Justin Fields with Sellers? Dude, I'm really, really high on Sellers now after. I mean, it's a small sample, so, we'll have to see what he does this year. But if he can improve and build off of what he did last year, I just think that would be the perfect guy for what they envision our offense to be. Now, right now, it's all about Justin Fields. I mean, man, the chemistry with Garrett is there. Garrett seems very happy, which is nice to see. And I'm looking forward to this year, man.
Definitely.
Connor, are you making the trip down to Tampa? I know a lot of content creators are. You know what? That's during the school year, isn't it?
Yeah. What is it? Week 2? No, week 3.
Week 3.
Week 3. I gotta see. I gotta see how far that is. I have family down in Florida, Ricky. I have family in Boynton Beach and West Palm. So I know Boynton. Okay. I know they're both close to Miami. I don't know how close they are to Tampa Bay and Raymond James Stadium, but hey, I know a lot of the creators are. So if I'm able to make the trip, the thing is, we're probably going to do the Next Gen Jets game meetup for week 2 against Buffalo. So maybe it'd be tough to go to back-to-back, but I'd definitely love to meet you, Ricky. 1,000%.
For sure.
Right.
If that means making the trip down to Florida, so be it.
And I'm waiting to get that little notification bell from YouTube that says Connor Long has subscribed to your channel. So
I subscribed to you.
Did you?
I've been subscribed for a while now. I don't. My subscriptions might not be public, so that's what I learned early on. So like for example, I can't see. Well, I have 1,840 subscribers. I can't see all 1,840 names. Sometimes it's a thing in people's settings where like they don't make their subscriptions public, so the creator can't see it. But yeah, Rick, I've been subscribed for a while. I know you put out some videos a couple days ago.
Okay, so you know what? That's. I'm glad that you said that though, because I was wondering like why some people I can see them and some people I don't. That you probably just explained exactly why.
Definitely.
But, okay, I was just making a big push. I'm trying to get another 16 before the weekend is out. So
how many are you at right now? Let me throw the link in the chat.
Yeah, Ricky, I'll go subscribe.
I think I'm at like 44 or something like that right now.
43. Perfect. All right, here's the link. I'm about to throw it in the chat. Shoot Ricky a sub here on YouTube. We appreciate all of your support here in the chat. And Ricky, thank you so much for all your support. I know you've been a listener of the show for a while now, over a year. I know you've been listening, one of my first ever listeners. So, Ricky, it means the world. Appreciate you. You got any final thoughts here before we keep it going?
Let me see. You know what? I just am going to reiterate again that I'm looking really forward to this season and just looking really forward to seeing a Jets team that plays like a team, not a bunch of individuals. I'm looking forward to seeing that old culture come back, because like I hate it when people say like, oh, same old Jets, and they like
I do too.
My early memories of being a Jets fan, like I said, was like the Martin Mawai era, like when we were winning all the time. We were in the playoffs damn near every year. And like, I can't wait to get back to that. Like, I miss that feeling. I don't feel like that. Same old Jets. This is my team. I live and die with my team, and I'm looking forward to being competitive again.
Ricky, have a great night, my friend.
All right, man. Have a good night, Connor.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ricky, New York, checking in with us here on the channel through his link in the chat. See you guys saying you sub. Please go over, shoot Ricky a sub. Very, very loyal listener on this program. Great Jet take, so we appreciate you guys always. Keep the questions coming for us. Call on the show with the pinned comment. Here with you, Chris Grasso, Connor Long's Saturday edition of Next Gen Jets. Our guy, Jake Asman, checks in with a $2 super chat. Jake, thank you so much for all your support. Says Florida State. I really love Florida State.
I'm Ricky, New York, and I love to smoke.
The Ricky, New York theme song, courtesy of someone who's in the chat, Gator McCluskey, who says, Connor, if you had to choose between Rodgers going back to the Jets for the next 2 years as their starter or Beastbreaker being your co-host for the next 2 years, which do you choose?
I know he's going with the latter here.
Let's bring on someone backstage who could potentially weigh in here on this topic. Unleash the beasts!
Muchos mijos. And to Mr. Chris, I hope you're as they say in Germany, Troots.
Beast, thoughts on this comment here from Gator?
Oh,
Beast, I'd rather have you as my co-host.
AKA Mr. We call.
I know you do. You've done wrestling announcing, so
for 8 years, I've been very high on that, and I've worked with many great commentators. And the thing is, I've learned, before I got into wrestling, radio was my first ticket, because the first guy I got into radio with was I don't know if you kids might not know this, but have you heard of the great Don Imus?
No.
Look him up. He is one of the greatest guys WNBC used to have back in the 80s. See, I know about Don Imus very well.
Rest in peace. Yes.
Don Imus did bring a lot to the table, because he also did a thing on MSNBC. What was it? I think it was around 2000 maybe, because you guys may not have been around to see it, but I have, because I was 16 when I first saw him, and I was like, Don Imus, he's still around? Hey, you can't take nothing away from the great Don Imus. Howard Stern, I used to like and respect, but I've lost a lot of respect for him because his numbers have kind of tanked. But enough about Howard Stern and other stuff. But Gator McCluskey, I love the guy, I respect the guy, and I kind of like his points. He does nail a few knocks, a couple knocks to the brain, a few rounds. But hey, can't take nothing away from the poor guy.
Beast, I think we do a great job together.
Hell yeah! Hey, I'm here to have fun, and you know what? This is what builds character. What builds character is to work within the system. If you work within the system, then you're working with your peers and you're working with your audience. That's the key element. The key element is together. You put it together, boom. There you go. Service with a smile. Ding.
Beast, you like Justin Fields? Like what you've seen?
Hey, I've seen Justin Fields for many years. The guy got the talent, he's got that speed, but here's the difference. We're gonna have to keep a few of the guys that we need, but we do need some extra heavy caliber and extra nuclear fire, because in case one of our boys go down, I've always said this on multiple occasions, we're gonna get bags of ice, and those boys are gonna sit in that ice. But if it gets bad, off to the hospital and no playing time for a month. You're gonna heal.
Beast, Chris B has a message for you. You ready to see it?
Please, Chris. We're here. We're waiting.
Tell Beast I love him. Care about you, on your side. Hope Lil Joey is also.
Oh, he's doing good. He's got a birthday coming up, and certain people they know, and you know what I mean by the certain people. They're not welcome to him.
Am I welcome, Beast?
Oh, you're on. You're in. You're on.
Am I in?
Let's go.
Hey, you boys are in, because why? You know what we are all about. And I'm gonna do this right now for everybody. Oh, come on, get up, come on, get on your feet. I can't hear you. Come on, let's go. Okay, let's see if you can get this.
Jets.
Let's go!
Ladies and gentlemen,
Beastbreaker, my God.
the Beast.
I'm holding my phone in one hand so I can't clap, but
Are there words for that, Chris?
That is just the definition of greatness.
Ladies and gentlemen, Beastbreaker 666.
Well,
We
that part's not
appreciate
really
you
that
all.
great, but
What'd you say?
that part's not really that great. The last part, but Beast is actually a devout Christian. I've spoken with him, so I don't know what that's all about. He said it's reference to a band he listens to, some kind of satanic band. But we rebuke that energy here at Next Gen Jets.
Okay, smash that like, hit subscribe. We appreciate you joining us here on this Saturday evening. We'll end with this one here from Chris's best friend, Josh Allen Avatal. 5.5 over under Jets or 8.5 over under Patriots. Which one are you confident? I actually have to go with the Jets here. I think the Patriots are going to win 9 games, but I think I have Patriots winning more games than the Jets. But I think the Jets have a higher floor based on pure overall roster talent.
Do I even have to answer this question, bro?
Anything that involves Jets, you're going to pick the Jets.
No, even from looking at like a neutral standpoint here, like the Jets over 5.5 wins is a no-brainer.
That's what they said about 9.5 last year.
Yeah, but that you can see that going wrong. I mean, if Justin Fields gets hurt, we still have Tyrod.
Always wins.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I picked the Jets over 5.5. For love of God.
I would too. I would 1,000%. Just far from a guarantee. Everything's far from a guarantee in the NFL.
You never know.
I guess we'll never know.
Been spending most our life.
Those are the final words. Chris, appreciate you. We're back tomorrow, 7 p.m.
Oh yeah.
EST with Jack and Josh. You got any final words here for the listeners to send us home with? You got one of these in you?
Go New York, go New York, go! Listen, I'm still all right on the Knicks. If they lose one more game, pack it up, burn the Brunson jersey, and call it a day. No, I'm playing. I love Jalen Brunson. I think they still have this is a really confidence building year beating the Celtics. It shows that it all is possible. And with another year of chemistry, the Knicks will be fine next year. But we're not throwing this series away yet. We're chilling. So, and on the Jets, man, I'm just so excited for Aaron. I love Aaron Glenn. So I think he's great. And especially after hearing the Quinnen Williams comments, it's just so refreshing to hear. And yes, you mentioned we have to win games, but really, it's going to be such a fun season, I hope.
Can we get one of these?
Go New York, go New York, go!
No, put the phone up. Let's do the dance. Come on, Chris.
What dance? I don't know what you're referencing.
You're a Knicks fan, yet you haven't seen the Go New York, Go New York, Go 2025 music video.
I have not. Oh.
Do it again.
I'm sorry to disappoint. I don't need Jimmy Jets making a video of me doing the Go New York dance when we get swept 4-0.
Gator says you guys might be too young to remember when Robert Saleh was our coach and we were super excited after his OTA. Gator, I've been saying the same thing. I like Aaron Glenn, but I've been saying the same thing, that we can't get too excited over OTA words, and that's what I've been saying. You gotta win football games before I put the utmost confidence into.
That is fair. I think we were excited about Saleh. People were excited about Saleh because of how he acted on the sidelines. We are excited about Aaron Glenn because how he acts in the locker room and what he does to the players, as we already saw with Quinnen Williams. So we are excited for all the right reasons, and I couldn't be more confident in our coach, 31 AGHC.
Ladies and gentlemen, hit that like, hit subscribe on your way out of the building. For Chris Grasso, I'm your host, Connor Long. Have a great night, everyone. And as always, JTS, Jets. Jets. Peace out, folks.
I am caught along, and I am fucking annoying to most. Hot takes and pessimism annoy people. According to Chris, I'm illogical, and I take that as a compliment. I am done putting blind faith into regimes, and the Jets need to show me they are not just the same old. Josh McCown would have been the best 18, no matter what Grasso says. I love the Jets with all my heart, boy, must show me now.
Let Chris tell you who he be. And that'll close us out. Have a great night, folks. JTS, Jets. Let's go.
My name is Grasso and I love the Jets more than everyone else. I am a highlight warrior. Aaron Glenn is the best coach they could have hired, but under 4 games won and he must be fired. I love every 2026 QB just based on highlights. I have watched 5 minutes of Nico's highlights and he is a Hall of Fame. Arm strength is all that matters. This isn't the same old Jets. THE 2025 Jets are different. Justin Fields is the franchise guy, or Nico will be drafted in 26. Highlights are all that matter.